With your hosts, Tristan Tommy. Welcome to Two Useless Organisms, a show where two useless organisms discuss a variety of topics as it pertains to their meaningless existence. Today's show, we will discuss death and statistics and 2000s internet culture. Keep in mind that Two Useless Organisms is not safe for work, so lick a shit.
Lick a shit.
Lick a
That
shit.
that that doesn't.
I actually wrote that line for Tommy for the last time we recorded. Whenever I send him the disclaimer, I add some new vulgarity to the end of it, and he never reads it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't read the disclaimer. I feel like I got it down. I don't.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
But
Lick a poo poo. I don't.
now that we're done licking shit, Tommy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't know why I'm perplexed by lick a shit right now.
Yeah, you definitely seem flustered by it.
I feel like that maybe isn't a sequence of words I've heard before, even though
No.
you think you'd hear that. I mean, you did in Step Brothers, the 2009 movie, although they said lick that white dog shit.
Yeah.
So like there was white and dog in between shit, licking and shit. So anyway,
it's funny that because I hadn't heard it either before my brilliant mind came up with it, but like there's only so
yeah.
many insulting commands you can give someone. They usually all involve lick, suck, or eat. And
Yeah.
then in there we have all sorts of things that you can lick, suck, or eat. But lick a shit, you're right, that's never been done.
It's never been done
Never been
before.
done before, except on this show now, Two Useless Organisms.
We've been talking about licking shit for too long.
You brought it up 3 more times, Tommy.
I did. That is my fault. So how am I doing? So to answer your question, how am I doing? That's how I'm doing.
Okay, that is how you're doing.
I finally started antidepressants.
Hey.
So I'm finally taking care of my stupid mental health. So
Okay.
go
Well,
me.
that's in all seriousness, I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you've been seeing positive results. Maybe it takes a little bit to kick in. I don't know.
It does. It is supposed to take a few weeks to kick in. I have been feeling a little better though recently. So we'll see where I am in a couple weeks with them.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Couple episodes from now, hopefully we have that update. That'll be great.
I'd actually be happy.
I'm doing pretty good myself. I do want to give a quick shout out here to my buddies Tom and Trevor.
Tom and Trevor.
Tom's been one of our earliest supporters ever since the Three Guys Without the Wise days. Trevor's actually been on the show. Trevor came on under the stage name The Big Gay way back. It was when we still had Eric on Three Guys Without the Wise. We talked about marching bands.
Oh yeah.
But
is that about peeing in the shower?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that
I remember that one.
Both of them want to get back on the show, and I want to get both of them back on the show here. But
I always love hearing about Tristan in the shower. So
both of them can attest to that.
Lucky them.
But our recording's been so weird lately. I mean, this is a Saturday night recording, and it came about pretty last minute, so I wasn't able to arrange anything. But Trevor and Tom, we're gonna get you on. Promise. It's I put it in my notes for every episode, and then I never do it. So
sometimes you just can't get Trevor and Tom on Two Useless Organisms.
I know.
It's as the old saying goes.
They did. That's written. It's one of the testaments, the Old Testament or the New one. I don't know. They're all bullshit. But
in the Quran.
Don't worry. We're gonna rip on religion a little bit later.
I feel like we don't rip on religion enough in this show. I mean, I feel like I did that enough when I was a high school atheist. So like, I try not to. I guess I try not to be super obnoxious, but sometimes you got to make fun of people. I don't know. I don't bully people enough.
The difference between a high school atheist and like our age atheist is that a high school atheist doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. They probably don't actually understand. Most high schoolers don't have a firm grasp on what reality is like. However, our age, I think we have every right to be a pissed off atheist because we've seen what happens when religion gets out of hand and how much of a corrupt, horrible business it is.
Yeah, I pay my own rent now. Speaking of that, like a buddy of mine was telling me that his parents are like, gotten really back into Catholicism in the last few years. And he has a much younger sister that's just getting into high school. And they really wanted to get her into this Catholic high school. And I'm pretty sure you have to pay, like, to get it because it's a private school. But apparently they weren't going to let them enroll their kid in this school because they didn't donate enough to the church. Yeah.
See? um,
And it's like I don't want to
wow.
say, not everyone who's religious is a greedy fucking piece of shit, but
No.
sometimes people use it to be greedy fucking pieces of shit.
Hmm. But we'll get, and this is a good segue here because I have the first topic here. My topic is a mix of two topics pushed together. It's unusual deaths, which was actually an idea of my best buddy Lane sent me an article, or I think it
Shout
was a
out to
Wikipedia
Lane.
page. Go Lane of all these unusual deaths. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool. And then the other half of this is disturbing statistics.
Hmm.
And the reason I said this was a good segue is some of the statistics in here involve the Catholic Church and priests
Ooh,
and kids.
ooh.
Um,
That one does
so,
not like what she be smelling.
so I guess I'll just hop into it. And Tommy, if at any point you remember any disturbing statistics or funny deaths, unusual deaths, blur them out. But I'll start here.
Yeah.
Um, first of all, I got all these off at least the statistic or the unusual deaths I got off Wikipedia. So apparently, way back in the day, Milo of Croton, an Olympic wrestling champion, tried to split a tree with his hands, which got trapped in the tree, and he was subsequently eaten by wolves because his hands were stuck in a tree.
He got his hand stuck in a tree doing what now?
Splitting it with his hands. Like,
All right.
gotcha.
He tried to karate chop it. His hand got stuck, got eaten by wolves.
And this guy is an Olympic wrestling champion who decided to go karate chop some trees and then was eaten by wolves. Something tells me something got lost in translation, or the game of telephone kind of changed that story a little bit. I don't believe that actually happened, but
Yeah,
it's on Wikipedia. So
that's one way to go.
we'll go into a disturbing statistic now because I have them going back and
Staggering.
forth.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So 15% of the 210 million orphans in the world will commit suicide before turning 18.
That is very depressing.
Mm-hmm.
That is a depressing statistic.
Yeah.
I think a more depressing thing is that I thought that would be higher. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I don't. I
Yeah,
think
like
no,
15%.
no, 15% sounds about right. I think, yeah.
I mean, yeah, 15%. When you're talking about 210 million orphans in the whole world, 15% of them,
That's
like,
still millions of them, I think.
we just live in we live in a fucked up society where people are, breeding like rabbits, here in the States. Usually
Yep.
people with very low IQs pump out lots of children,
Yep. It
and they can't adopt.
yeah. It's exactly why I've been considering the adoption route recently. I mean, granted, like, I'm like just barely starting to date someone. I'm like very far away from marriage or having kids, but like more recently I've been thinking if I do have kids, maybe I go the adoption route because there are so many orphans that are in really shitty situations and this world is already fucked up. Why bring somebody else into it when I could just take care of someone that already was born?
Well, the way I see it, Tommy, is I
Yeah.
don't want someone with your genetics, another person walking
Me
around.
neither. Trust
So.
me neither. I mean, they'll have a nice ass and pretty eyes, but other than that, like,
Yeah, but what about those dumb glasses? Are they going to be
well,
born wearing dumb square circle glasses?
they'll be wearing dumb square circle glasses and have tummy issues.
Acid reflux.
Acid reflux. Yeah, just
All right, so we'll move on to the next one here. Charles the Eighth of France died by hitting his head on a door frame on his way to watch a game of tennis.
so what I'm hearing is don't fucking watch tennis. That's what I got
Pretty,
out of that.
pretty much. I mean, on a door frame. He hit his head on a door frame. It's not like he fell.
Yeah.
Which even that would be kind of obscure if you just fall and die. He hit his head on a door frame. How tall was this guy? How short were door frames? I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I have more questions than answers.
10 times as many girls are trafficked into brothels yearly than African slaves were transported to America at the peak of the transatlantic slave trade.
I have heard something like that, and that is terrifying.
Yes. Yeah. So it was kind of worded confusingly. So if anyone didn't understand, exponentially more girls today are being trafficked into brothels than Africans were brought over to America as slaves. So
Yeah, that I don't really have much insightful information. I'm just
yeah.
very sad about that.
Yeah. No, that was the point.
That's
I don't have a
terrible.
solution.
Well,
George Herbert, who financed Howard Carter's search for King Tut, flashback to a couple episodes ago, when we talked about Howard Carter. What episode was that? Um, Jimmy Carter, episode 18. We talk about Jimmy Carter. Um, Flashback, go back, listen to that episode. Anyway, so what I was saying here was, gosh, there's a lot of these. George Herbert, who financed Howard Carter's search for King Tut, died as a result of infection when he cut open a mosquito bite while shaving.
wow. That
That's why you
is
should
and
have a beard.
that is why you should correct.
Yeah, yeah. Like that. I don't get no Zika.
Yeah,
Cut
no,
open a
no,
Zika bite. No. Um,
nah.
60 out of 1,000 people will go out of their way to hit animals on the road with their car.
That's pretty sad. I go out of my way to not hit animals.
Well, the other
Yeah,
940 people would agree, but 60 out of 1,000.
yeah,
And this was actually a study by NASA. Now, I don't know why NASA was carrying out this study,
that is interesting.
but they were. 60 out of 1,000 people will go out of their
That's
way to hit animals. And they did it with fake
yeah.
animals.
Hmm.
So NASA set up fake animals on a road and would watch people's behavior with the fake animals.
Hmm. Wow. I actually have a very depressing story since we're talking about depressing stuff too.
Yeah.
This was still when I was living in North Carolina. I was in a car with one of my friends, and there was a turtle in the middle of the road. But like, this is like, a road where, we didn't want to stop in the middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
So like we drove up the road and went into a driveway because we wanted to go back to save the turtle. We didn't want to park in the middle of the road. We, went up the road to park to go save the turtle. And as we were getting out of the car, we heard a sound what sounded like a gunshot, and that was a car running over the turtle shell.
Oh,
It was honestly like it was one of the worst sounds I've ever heard. It was just, it was a turtle, but like, oh my God. It was, you know, don't fucking run over animals.
well, if you do want to hear about animals getting hit with cars more, go back and listen to episode 6 of Three Guys Without the Wise, where Eric talks about what happened when him and some of his army buddies hit a deer. And it is a cringy, disgusting, horribly sad story. Episode 6, Three Guys Without the Wise. Go listen to it.
Can't believe you remembered what episode that was.
Well, I actually have a note here on my computer now of all of our previous episodes so I can plug them and get people to go back and listen to them if they haven't yet.
Incredible.
So, all right. So, a Ford Motor Company factory worker was the first person killed by a robot when a robotic arm struck him in the head. Here's what I don't know. I don't know how many people have subsequently been killed by robots. I hope it's not high because that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Especially with this whole artificial intelligence thing that's going on. Like, I do not want robots killing people, but Ford Motor guy was hit on the head by a robot in a car factory and died.
Bummer.
Bummer. Here's our next stat. 1.6 billion people live where they have access to water but can't afford it.
Ooh, that's sad. I take water for granted. I drink so much water all the time.
Yeah.
I shower all the time.
That's one of the ones I don't understand. Like, what is there? Are there really entities, businesses, people, whatever out there charging for water to the point where 1.6 billion people simply can't afford it? Like, what's going on?
Like how much places doesn't have plumbing? Plumbing is probably the biggest thing I take for granted.
Oh yeah,
Plumbing and waste management.
We have it made where we can poop in a nice clean bowl of water, and you literally just press a button and it disappears.
Yeah,
like you don't have to do anything. All right. A man in Arizona was shooting cacti. That's plural for cactus. Who was shooting cacti with a shotgun when a 4-foot cactus limb detached and crushed him to death.
Yikes, that's what he gets for shooting cacti.
Yeah,
He was asking for it.
you were. I don't know why you'd want to go shoot cacti or why you'd shoot one that you're standing under, but
Yeah, what an idiot. Okay. Yeah, you
but
deserve that death.
carrying on the guns thing here, there were 1.5 million firearms deaths in the United States between 1968 and 2017, higher than the number of soldiers killed in every U.S. conflict since the American War for Independence in 1775.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Hooray, public shootings.
Yep. Yep. They're very common nowadays, and that's fucking crazy. But and and here's my other thing, and this is a thought that I had when I was coming up with all these. Whatever your opinion is about some sort of controversial topic, like in this case, guns, I can bring in all the statistics in the world that tell you why guns are dangerous and why something should happen with the control of guns, regardless of what you think it is.
Mhm.
And all of the people that are already team guns are not going to change their opinion no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Like they're dead set. They don't care however many more hundreds of kids get gunned down in a school. They do not care.
Yeah, who would?
They want their guns, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking with all these different types of statistics and things. Like I can give you all, I can make all the sense in the world, and the people are just gonna be like, no, they're gonna pretend like there's no problem. They're gonna pretend like everything's fine. What are you talking about? Don't take away my freedom. I need my
So you're
guns.
fake news, bias. They'll be like
Mm-hmm.
that. You're just that's some bias.
Yep.
We'd be safer if everyone had guns.
So, man, I don't. And here's the other thing about the Second Amendment. Wasn't the Second Amendment written when everybody just had a fucking musket?
Yes.
I think that's
Like
a comedian's
when
job or bit. I don't want to steal a comedian's bit, but like,
no, but like that's not even I mean, it might be a comedic bit, but that's also just a fact.
yeah.
Like it was written when we didn't have automatic rifles.
So here's a challenge. Let's set up a simulation here, kind of like NASA did with fake animals in the road. Put a bunch of fake kids in a school, fake everything, except put a real nutcase with a musket into it and see how many fake kids he can gun down while reloading his musket in between each one.
Yeah.
All right. That is the time that, you know what I'm saying? That's what would have
Yeah.
happened when the Second Amendment was written. Hell, if that was a real school shooting, he'd be able to get like 2 kids, which is
Yeah.
still too many.
But the Constitution, the one that was written 200 years ago by teenagers and 20-year-olds that would be blown away by my dishwasher. Like,
mm-hmm. So whatever, man.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. Moving on from that, a 22-year-old prison inmate died while trying to swallow a pocket-sized Bible. Don't know why. 80% of sexual abuse incidents committed on minors by Catholic priests occurred in the United States. That's great. 80% in the U.S. alone.
Wow. In the church.
A 28-year-old prison inmate initially given a death sentence by electrocution that was later reduced to life died of electrocution while biting into the electrical wires of a TV set while sitting on a metal toilet.
That's kind of hilarious.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Like that, he had to have done that on purpose.
I don't know. The thing I read said he was trying to fix it. He was trying to fix a TV set. I guess in his prison cell he had a TV set. Prison confuses me.
Yeah, me too.
Like, no, don't give them anything. They're in prison. Anyway, especially if this person was given a death sentence, they probably did something bad enough to warrant them never being able to watch TV again. Whatever. All right, back to guns now. There are 120.5 firearms per 100 residents in the United States, exponentially more than any other country.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Apparently guns are just a lot more necessary in the United States. So much so that there are exponentially more guns than citizens.
Yeah.
A 38-year-old lawyer in Toronto died while trying to prove the windows of the 24th floor of a building were unbreakable. So he ran into it. And instead of breaking the entire window fell out of its frame. So he was right. The window was unbreakable. He still died.
That's hilarious.
78% of Catholic Church initiated sexual abuse victims were between the ages of 11 and 17. That was 78% between 11 and 17, 16% between 8 and 10, and 6% younger than 7.
That's terrible.
Yes. Yes. A 6-year-old died during an MRI scan when an oxygen tank was magnetically pulled into the machine and fractured his skull.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And last one here. Despite a huge public outrage following the increasingly common mass shootings of recent years, American support for more strict gun laws in 2020 fell to the lowest level since 2014.
This is why I don't want to have kids. Like,
think about how many mass shootings there were between 2014 and 2020.
Yeah.
And in that time, less and less people wanted stricter gun laws.
Sure.
It's like, how does that correlate?
Let's just keep killing our kids. Sure.
That's where we're at, man. I don't know. So those are my statistics and my unusual deaths. Tommy, if you don't have any weird statistics that popped into your head or unusual deaths.
It's like I got two. There used to be an old show like called 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yep.
And there's two deaths that I remember from that show. I only remember these two. One of them starts off they build up this story about a woman who sees a handsome man in a grocery store. So she buys this carrot. Like she bought a carrot while she was at the grocery store. When she gets home, she masturbates with the carrot, but the outside of the carrot was really sharp and kind of cut her up inside, and she internally bled to death. So I guess don't masturbate with a carrot, or at least shave it before you masturbate with a carrot. And then another death, which was also kind of sexual, was a woman she had tied herself to a chair and duct taped her mouth and like kind of FaceTimed her husband at work to like kind of tease him to like get ready and come home. And while she was duct taped to the chair, a burglar comes into the house and starts fucking robbing her while she duct taped herself with her mouth duct taped shut. And then I guess at some point the burglar went right up to her face to taunt her, and his breath was so bad that she vomited while her mouth was duct taped, and she died.
And she died.
Yes, by choking on her own vomit because she duct taped her own mouth.
See, man, if I was her, I would have been overjoyed that the burglar just didn't kill me right off the bat. And then she goes and throws up in her own mouth and drowns on her vomit, I'd imagine.
Yep.
That's how it was.
Yep, that's how she died.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we're all good and happy from all those
both of my deaths were sex.
Yeah, and all of mine were kids and guns, and
yeah,
I guess there was electrocution, there was
need more sex on this show.
Yeah. No, we don't. Tommy, this connection that me and you have every week or whatever, however often we record through our computer screen here, that's enough that
it does make me horny, I guess.
I'm worked up. So
yeah, me too.
That's all I need.
Boner.
Plus my dog's watching and I don't really want to, you know what I'm saying? That weirds me out.
You know, sometimes they just gotta watch. You know, when your pet, never mind. Let's go to the sponsor. Hey, have you ever not have a good day? Then here's buy our product, and then you will have a good day. You ever sit there and your day isn't good? Well, if you buy our product, then it will be better. So, sorry you're always having a bad day, but our product will make it better. All right, and we're back. Thank you so much for sponsoring our show this week.
So I remember when this sponsor reached out and communicated to us that they wanted to be a sponsor, and I listened to their pitch, and I was thinking, wow, this doesn't explain anything. But then it kind of I kind of gained some respect for our sponsor because I am absolutely 100% sick of seeing an ad for a product on TV and they get your attention by showing you something completely irrelevant but something that you want. People
Yeah.
people playing with their dog, people hanging out with their family, old people being able to walk in the park without falling over dead or whatever old people are concerned with. And then they tell you about their product, which has nothing to do with
Yeah.
those things.
I know.
And then they tell you all the side effects, which always include diarrhea
Yeah. Or
or
like
death.
when or like when they have like antidepressants and one of the side effects is suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, that's why I'm taking it.
So I'm glad that our sponsor just went right for it and said, if
Yeah.
you want to have a better day, use our product. Because I'm sick of all these
Yeah.
companies pretending like I'm an idiot
Yeah.
with their dumb ads. Like,
Or trying to make jokes or they're Jake from State Farms. I don't care that he's wearing khakis. I want to know what I'm going to get for my car insurance.
if you want to actually convince me to get a certain medication for Crohn's disease, you better show me videos of people pooping rocks.
And then them not pooping rocks because they took the.
Well, yeah, it'd be
Let's
like a
jump
poop.
into let's jump into the next topic.
Okay, yeah, bring it
Which
on.
is a 2000s internet culture. Now as someone born in 1995, I grew up with computers like since I was like 4 or 5 years old. So literally during the age of the new millennia, during the wild, wild west of the internet. These days, everybody is on social media, everything is monetized, all of your hobbies are monetized, sponsors are everywhere. But back in the 2000s, it was just for bullshit entertainment. And sometimes I miss those days. Tristan, I think you told me before we recorded this episode you have some information about 2000s internet.
I do.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I made a bulleted list of things that I found actually browsing the internet earlier today of things that were prominent in the 2000s.
Yeah,
And the significance of this is, and it's actually exactly what you were saying about how it was the wild, wild west for people of that time.
yeah,
Other people, like generations older than us, are going to have no fucking idea what any of this is.
yeah,
Because think about what the internet was then versus what it is now.
yeah,
Everybody uses the internet in the exact same way now.
yeah.
Everybody has all the social medias. Everybody watches the same mindless bullshit on YouTube, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. Everybody's the same. But back then, if you were on YouTube, you were watching these things that I'm about to read
Yeah.
to you, and it was
Oh, I
very
can't wait.
specialized.
Yeah.
So not only is it's not just YouTube, but it's everything that was on the internet like at that
Mm-hmm.
time. 4chan, which is
Yeah.
now a far right
Yeah.
political thing, but it wasn't
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
The anonymous hacker group, Ebola Chan, which was like a
Oh,
cosplay where people would dress up like a hentai version of Ebola, the disease. Explain
yikes.
that to me. We have 2006 YouTube, Charlie the
Yeah.
Unicorn, Evolution of
Wow. Yep.
Dance. Here it goes
Yes.
again. Numa Numa, Techno Viking.
Yep.
We have 2007 YouTube, Baby Shark. Believe it or not, that's actually from
Wow.
2007. Charlie Bit My Finger, Chocolate Rain, Crush on Obama,
See,
Keyboard Cat, Leave Britney Alone, Rick Rolling, What in
and
the Butt.
man, and I think either 2005 or 2006, you didn't even bring up Smosh Pokemon Lip Sync. That was the most viewed video on YouTube at one point. The most viewed video on YouTube with 25 million views back in the mid 2000s was two middle schoolers lip syncing to the Pokemon theme song.
Mm-hmm. And to put it in perspective, I remember when the trailer for Star Wars The Force Awakens came out,
mm-hmm.
I would watch the millions of views go up by the minute when that trailer came out. It got over 1 billion. I'm pretty sure it got like 1 billion or 2 billion views.
And I remember it was a big deal when the first YouTube channel got 1 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And now, videos with millions of views and millions of subscribers are just very common.
Exactly. 2009 YouTube, I'm on a Boat, Baby by Justin Bieber, Double Rainbow, and then some other random things from that time were Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris was very popular. Leroy Jenkins. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. The Trollololo, look it up. Napster, Kazaa, LimeWire, Classmates.com,
LimeWire,
Friends Reunited. Those were like social medias, and then MSN Messenger, which was an instant messenger.
Yes. I was all about the AOL Instant Messenger. Like back in my hometown, everybody used AOL Instant Messenger, and I remember I was I got a AOL Instant Messenger when I was in like first grade, and my brother was in like fourth or fifth grade, and all their friends had it. Nobody in my grade got it yet, but then I remember a couple. So like I only talked with the AIM robots and like my brother and his friends. But then by the time I got to fourth grade, everybody else started getting it. I'm like, oh my god, I could finally start talking to people in my grade about this. Just like start getting your screen names and all that fun stuff. And before YouTube, like you had like Newgrounds, Funny Drunk, E-Bombs World,
Mm-hmm.
just like all these random websites. I remember homestarrunner.com was a random website I would go to. Um, there's so much to tackle with 2000s internet. Like, and we're talking about the wild, wild west. Like, everything was anonymous online back then. Nobody knew who you are. Anyone could just post anything,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody was doing anything to make money. Everything, people who posted shit, they were just doing it because they thought it was funny. Like old YouTube, nothing, none of it was what is going on, guys. Welcome to my video, and today the sponsor, blah. Like it was all just dumb people doing dumb skits, and you
It
still have
was
that, but it doesn't feel nearly as prominent.
it was honestly a feat, I feel,
Yeah.
just to have a camera to be able to
Oh yeah.
upload a video onto the internet and share it. And like if you got
Oh
more
yeah.
than 20 views, you were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And now that's like super commonplace.
Yeah.
It's
Like
interesting.
like anyone can post a TikTok and whatever. Like I
Uh-huh.
posted a random TikTok of my niece and I got 25,000 views.
Oh
Just
dang.
yeah.
You need to make a TikTok for our podcast, sir, so
Yeah.
that
And see, I've posted many TikToks, but like that's the only one I have with that many views.
oh, okay.
I have one with like 9,000 and then like one or two above 1,000. The rest of them have like maybe a couple hundred. I don't know.
Well,
But
speaking of views, I'm gonna be fully transparent here. Little side note. I want to monetize our YouTube videos so that Tommy and I can make money. Now, the only way to do that is if you have enough subscribers and enough watch hours. So please, 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 everybody go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Two
oh
Useless
yeah.
Organisms because Tommy and I, we do in fact pay monthly to do this podcast and we get no income out of it. Okay. So
Oh
this
yeah.
is where we're shaming you to please support us by doing something free and subscribing to our YouTube page because it might end up making us money later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That'd be pretty cool.
Tweet Elon Musk for me. All right.
In this economy.
Yeah, we make free content, folks. Come on.
Not me complaining about how everything is monetized and then we're like, oh yeah,
Pretty much.
It'd
Pretty
be like
much.
that sometimes.
You used to be able to monetize stuff on YouTube. No problem. I actually made over $100 with my YouTube when I was a teenager off YouTube.
Oh wow. Dang.
Because there were no rules. Now you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers
Dang.
and 4,000 watch hours within the last 12 months.
Shit.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're at 15 subscribers. So let's keep trucking.
We're getting there.
Tommy, do you have anything else to say about that weird time that was the internet in the 2000s?
I don't know, man. It was just, I didn't know how good we had it back then.
I would
Like,
definitely, yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
it's like I remember seeing comments back then about how this was the wild, wild west, but like I don't feel like I truly knew what that meant until now.
Yeah. Well, I would highly recommend everyone go and just look up those things I listed off and just think about how like those were huge at a certain point in time and they're
Yeah.
so silly now.
Yeah, and if anybody else has anything from the early days of the internet that you'd like to share, please go off. Like,
Yes.
now everything is like on social media, like, either in Facebook groups or subreddits, I feel like, or, your TikTok for you pages. But back then, it was different websites. Like, you would have to go to a specific website for your niche interest.
Yeah, exactly.
And so,
yes. All
good
right.
times.
All right. Good times. Good times. I was alive. I remember that. I remember that YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm proud to have been alive at that time.
Me too.
Me
Me too.
All right. So we have a Yelp review here, folks.
Yelp review. Yelp review. Yeah.
This is a little bit of a quick one, just good because we're running low on time. But it's actually for another album. This is the second time I've kind of branched off and looked in different places on the internet. This is a review for an album. Album called Blue Jeans Methington Sings His Hits. All right.
Blue Jeans Methington.
Looking for some good old school music, and I found a real gem. Sitting in a bin at my local thrift store was a vinyl record of a fellow named Blue Jeans Methington, apparently a long forgotten but once prominent country artist who was popular in 1986. Turns out Blue Jeans was a supporting act on Conway Twitty's 1986 Country Explosion Tour, where he regularly agitated Conway by consistently hiding Conway's hair comb up his ass until one day he required a surgery to have it removed. The record I found is a compilation album, all songs from which came out in 1986, the only year he was musically active. I hopped on Wikipedia to find out more about this guy, and as it turns out, Mr. Methington released 37 studio albums that year, but only 6 of his songs ever made it onto the charts. For this reason, his record label had him record covers of other popular country songs to fill in the compilation album. Apart from the covers, his original includes such songs as My Porcelain Pillow, Drunk at the Pinewood Derby, The Only 23-Year-Old at Prom, Texas Whore, The World is an Oyster, Your Ass is a Pearl, and You Were Born in a Cop Car. Further into the Wikipedia page, I learned some more about Blue Jeans, most notably that at the beginning of 1987, he suffered from a nervous breakdown in the middle of a gas station and never picked up a guitar again. Not much is known after that, but it is believed that he moved to a different state and married a woman named Nellie Spaghetti and helped run her sushi restaurant and psychic shop with her. While his covers are mediocre at best, I must say that Blue Jeans Methington's originals are quite good, especially Drunk at the Pinewood Derby, which is a very relatable song for me and many other Cub Scouts parents. 3 out of 5 stars.
3 out of 5 stars.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of the reviews usually end up being negative, and this one was, a little more neutral. I like that.
Yeah, they are typically 0.
Yeah.
Out of 5. But this was a solid 3. I listened to these songs. I do like his originals. My personal favorite is Texas Whore. Real nice bluesy swing to it.
I check it out.
Would highly recommend. Blue Jeans Methington sings his hits if you can find it, maybe at your local thrift store like this fella did. But having said that, Tommy, another good one down the drain.
Awesome. Yep.
Talk us out.
Another good. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of Two Useless Organisms. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified of new content. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. I guess, like Tristan said, we need money.
We do.
Or, we all, I don't know. Tristan, do you have anything to add?
Man, thanks for listening, everyone. Please share it with your weird friends if you actually enjoy this stuff. I do believe we actually have a few listeners who listen to this strictly for pleasure, not out of pity because they're our friends or family. So if you're one of those people, please share it with your weird friends. We hope they enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck you. Two useless organisms. Two useless organisms.